In 1969, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover declared, "The Black Panther Party feeding hungry children was more dangerous than armed militants in the streets." Let that sink in. The U.S. government feared breakfast programs more than guns. This is the untold story of how revolutionaries with spatulas terrified the most powerful nation on earth. Oakland, 1966. Two college students, Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, witnessed police brutality tearing their community apart daily. But instead of just marching, they did something unprecedented. According to declassified FBI documents, they studied Frantz Fanon, Che Guevara, and Mao Zedong, then turned theory into action. They armed themselves, grabbed law books, and began patrolling black neighborhoods. When police stopped someone, the Panthers would stand exactly 8 feet away, rifles visible, citing California's open carry laws word for word. The police couldn't touch them. It was legal, strategic, and absolutely brilliant. But here's what history textbooks won't tell you. The Panthers weren't just about confrontation. In January 1969, they started something revolutionary at St. Augustine's Church in Oakland. 11 children gathered for free breakfast: eggs, grits, toast, milk. By the end of that week, 135 children showed up. Within months, according to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, the Black Panther Party was feeding over 20,000 children daily across 36 cities. In a 1969 U.S. Senate hearing, the National School Lunch Program Administrator admitted the Panthers fed more poor children than the entire state of California. This program worked. School principals reported children who once fell asleep in class, who cried with hunger pains, were suddenly thriving. The Panthers proved that feeding children wasn't charity. It was revolution. They called it survival pending revolution. But here's where it gets dark. FBI declassified memos from the COINTELPRO program reveal Hoover's exact words describing the free breakfast program as the greatest threat to FBI efforts to destroy what the Black Panther Party stands for. Think about that. Not their guns, not their rhetoric. Breakfast. The FBI's response was systematic and brutal. According to UC Berkeley Library's COINTELPRO archives, federal agents sent forged letters to grocery stores claiming the Panthers were extortionists. They spread rumors that the food was poisoned. They even raided breakfast sites while children were eating, destroying food, urinating on supplies meant for hungry kids. This wasn't law enforcement. This was psychological warfare against a community feeding its children. But the government's terror campaign extended beyond breakfast programs. Documents show the FBI infiltrated the party, planted informants, and orchestrated violence between black organizations. On December 4, 1969. 14. Chicago police officers raided an apartment where Black Panther leaders Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were sleeping. They fired over 90 bullets. Hampton was 21 years old. His fiancée was 8 months pregnant beside him. Ballistics experts later confirmed that only 1 bullet came from the Panthers. The FBI had provided the apartment floor plan. An informant had drugged Hampton's drink hours before. Court documents from the $1.85 million settlement in 1982 proved what many suspected. As attorney G. Flint Taylor stated, the settlement was an admission of the conspiracy between the FBI and Chicago police to murder Fred Hampton. Bobby Seale once said something that captures the essence of the Panthers' philosophy. He declared that politics doesn't start with a seat in the assembly. Politics starts with a hungry stomach. Politics starts with police brutality. Politics starts when your children can't learn because they're starving. The Panthers understood revolutionary love. They fed children before teaching them revolution. By 1971, internal purges and relentless FBI operations had fractured the party. Huey Newton expelled Eldridge Cleaver in what became known as the Newton-Cleaver split. Leaders were imprisoned on fabricated charges. Chapters across America closed. But their legacy endured. The federal government expanded school breakfast programs nationwide in 1975, largely due to pressure created by what the Panthers proved was possible. The Black Panthers didn't fail because their ideas were wrong. They were destroyed because their ideas worked. They showed that community empowerment, self-defense, and revolutionary love could transform society from the ground up. And that terrified those in power more than any weapon ever could. Now here's what we need to understand today. Every free school breakfast program in America exists because revolutionaries in leather jackets proved the government wasn't doing its job. Every community health clinic model we see traces back to Panther survival programs. The Panthers asked one revolutionary question that still echoes. If we can feed 20,000 children daily with donations and volunteers, why can't the wealthiest nation on earth do the same? So when you see free breakfast at your child's school, remember it wasn't given. It was fought for. It was revolutionary. Tell me in the comments, did you know the Panthers created the blueprint for modern school breakfast programs? Drop your thoughts below. Share this with someone who needs to hear this history. And follow Ikemefuna History TV for more stories they don't teach in schools. This is history they tried to bury. We're bringing it to light.